use the American military to go after their political adversaries. And I say, geez, that sounds very un-American to somebody like me.
Is that what he said, Vivek?
Oh, no.
Is that what he's going to do?
Of course he said it.
This is the first time a Republican won the popular vote.
I admitted that it was decisive. And Joe wants something more. He wants like an extra pound of flesh or something like that.
So
I admitted that it was a win. I congratulated you guys.
In this one, a fellow America First individual in Vivek Ramaswamy goes toe-to-toe with never-Trumper, Trump-hating Anthony Scaramucci. Let's have a look.
We have a violent disagreement about lots of things related to Trump's personality. You like Trump. I was up close to Trump. I got to see the ugliest of what he is. And by the way, Joe, it's not just me. There were 40 of us that worked for the president that warned people. So
I think he's been very good for your. I think he's been very good for your career, Anthony. I think he's been incredibly good. You're here, are you not? And you're going to be welcome anywhere you want to go. I think he's been very good for you, and you'll be able to live off this for another 4 years.
Joe, why don't you calm down? Why don't you calm down a second, Joe? We know each other a long time. Are you saying that you and I can't disagree on somebody's personality? Is that what you're saying? And you're saying what I'm saying in terms of identifying those features and traits of the personality. You don't see those too, but you're choosing to ignore them?
I guess 75 million people looked at everything you looked at and decided that there were other things that.
But there were 67 million people that didn't, Joe. That's what makes America, Joe. That's what makes America, Joe. But you're saying to me that stuff that I was saying wasn't factually true. If somebody's saying they're going to use the American military to go after their political adversaries, and I say, geez, that sounds very un-American to somebody like me.
Is that what he said, Vivek?
Oh, no.
Is that what he's going to do?
Of course he said it.
So let me see if I can
we'll go to the
be
tape.
helpful here for a second, guys. Let me just take a moment to say this was a decisive win. All right, put aside whether you're a Republican or Democrat. This is the first time a Republican has won the popular vote.
I admitted that it was decisive, and Joe wants something more. He wants like an extra pound of flesh or something like that.
So
I admitted that it was a win. I congratulated you guys.
So I think this is useful in one way, which is we have had a heated year and a half headed into this election. And right now, in these few days afterwards, let's process what happened. Okay, you have every county that Joe Biden performed well in, every county across the country. There was not one in which Kamala Harris did better. Now, this is not to dunk on the other side. What I'm in this to say is that decisive win gives us an opportunity as a country. And my advice to our fellow Republicans is that after, yes, we won and won decisively, we're done criticizing Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or the past. Let's turn the page to chase the future. One of the things I loved about Donald Trump's victory speech, and I was personally there, was him beginning to talk about this golden age in America. I think everyone wants that golden age, a growing economy, an immigration system that works. We now have an electoral mandate to deliver it. And so to Republicans, my ask is, you know what, let's put aside our own sense of grievance or vengeance or whatever. We won. Let's use it. We're running to something. And my ask of Democrats and to those on the left who may not have liked Donald Trump and may not like him still is to say, just give him a chance and give us a chance to say that, you know what, we have a chance to unite this country in a way that we have not in a very long time. Most people favor economic growth. Most people want to pay lower taxes. Most people want an American dream for their kids and an immigration system that works and secure borders for our country and don't want their kids lining up to fight in World War III. That's the opportunity that we have. And I think it's a generational opportunity that we shouldn't squander. And so, even to those who disagreed, my ask is give us a chance. And we're going to do our part by exhibiting, I hope, some grace to the people who we believe were wrong. But in moving this country forward, that's what we're looking to do.
Vivek,
can I say something, Andrew, or not yet?
Please. No, Anthony, absolutely.
Right,
but I just wanted to suggest that I appreciate the point about the grace.
Yeah, but not only do I agree with Vivek about all of that, the only thing that I would say to Vivek and the Trump people, just be very careful setting up deportation camps and deportation centers. They've got people on 60 Minutes talking about rounding up all the family members. There are people making suggestions that they're going to renounce birthright citizens for moms that are illegal where the child was born in the United States. I would just say, listen, if we're talking about grace, I would put aside those sorts of things, and I would focus on growing the economy and making people more prosperous. If Joe has an issue with me, that's fine. But let's look at the videotape of what the president-elect was saying during the campaign, and let's Joe and I sit down and go over that tape. And Joe will tell me what he likes about some of that rhetoric. Okay, you know.
Well, Anthony, I got a suggestion.
I don't
like
like
a suggestion here,
so,
Anthony. If I may, I got a suggestion. Forget the tape of the past. Let's talk about some healthy debates in areas where I have some disagreements with you on the future.
Let's not fulfill
on the
those
question
types
of mass
of campaign promises, Vivek. We don't want those type of campaign promises
I disagree.
fulfilled where we're going to use the American military against political
you laid out
adversaries.
your view. You laid out your view. I hear you. Let me lay out the alternative case for you, which is on the case of mass deportations and securing the border. Here's the basic premise. If your first act of entering the United States of America violated the law, if you lied to the U.S. government to enter, then you broke the law and we're a nation founded on the rule of law. That is separate from our attitude towards legal immigration, which needs some serious reform to benefit this country. But I do think that is a campaign promise that is worth keeping, even looking at smart things we can do out of the gate for voluntary deportations. You could self-deportation, end the incentives, stop funding sanctuary cities, end the usage of the welfare state by anybody who entered this country illegally, end government benefits for somebody who broke the law in entering this country. We're going to see a large wave of self-deportations from those steps alone.
I really like how strong Vivek is and how smart he is, and I'm looking forward to see his work in conjunction with Elon Musk and their new Doge department, the Department of Government Efficiency that Trump has appointed these two guys to head up, which if it's anything like what Elon Musk has done with X, he essentially went through, fired 80% of the personnel and made the platform much, much, much better, right? Additionally, what Anthony Scaramucci said there about, well, there were 67 million people that didn't vote for Trump. What about them? That's how America works. Yeah, you know, those cries fall upon deaf ears at this point because we've been saying that for the last 4 years as it related to Trump's loss in 2020, right? 71 million people voted for Donald Trump in 2020, and the Democrats gave zero shits about any of us. And so I don't think it's become suddenly incumbent of us to have grace because we have these, you know, Christian values where we tend to be more forgiving and we want to see all people succeed. When these folks had zero grace or appreciation for us and what we believe, they spent the last 4 years supporting transgendering children, putting men and women's sports, vilifying people who say America first, vilifying Donald Trump and his supporters, calling us garbage, which was an extension of Hillary Clinton's basket of deplorables. You know, it goes on, right? And so, you know, I understand those 62 million people voted. They voted for the wrong person. And now they're scared because they realize how they treated us, how they treated their enemies, and they expect to be treated the same, which the reality is the people are just idiots, right? Those people are just idiots. And the focus for people that are America first starts at the top, right? When we talk about the Democrats, we're mostly referring to the woke pundits, the mainstream media, and then, of course, the leadership that I can't believe some of these people got reelected, but it just goes to show that there's still some Democrat strongholds across the country, which brings me to my next point is that those 70 or 67 million votes that Scaramucci referred to probably all came from California, New York, Chicago, you know, these heavily condensed Democrat populations mostly. And so I don't like having a handful of big cities represent the entire country. So hopefully this is an opportunity where Vivek was talking about, I'll add on to what Vivek was saying, you know, if these people don't self-deport themselves, which I don't really believe that a lot of people are going to self-deport themselves. I still believe that being poor in our own country or not having government subsidies within our own country is still a better place to live than a lot of places in this world. But I do think that a lot of these cities are going to simply replace the federal funds with state funds, right? They'll take away the federal government subsidies, and then these states will become even more entrenched sanctuary cities, right? They'll still be giving out the debit cards. It'll just be on the backs of those local citizens within those states. And that gives the federal government, Donald Trump, an opportunity to basically stop federal funds to any of these sanctuary cities, much like he threatened in his first term. And hopefully that then gives a proper response that is the best for everyone in our country that these local cities, these local, the states, the governments, counties will then start working with the federal government as it pertains to deporting these individuals who are criminals the second they came into our country illegally. And that's including these people that are lying in their asylum cases, right? Because a lot of these people are claiming asylum when they're really not from a bordering country or, fitting the criteria to actually apply for asylum without getting into all the fine details. It's just a workaround using the CBP app that conveniently benefits the Democrats, and it's bullcrap. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.